What's up, producers? Did you know that VPS Avenger has macro buttons, not just macro knobs? They work just like the knobs, but they're actually toggles, like on-off switches, which you can assign multiple parameters to and trigger them on or off at the same time. Let me show you how. The macro buttons are down here in the bottom right with the macro knobs, and we can do the same drag and dropping that we do with the other ones. I'm gonna come into the mixer, I'm gonna make sure I'm on drums, and I'm gonna drag and drop this macro button onto the volume of the bass drum, and right here inside of my matrix, which usually looks like this, but we can pop it to make it look a little bit bigger. I'm going to take that value and drop it all the way down to a negative 100. That means it's going to essentially mute the kick drum when I trigger the button. Let's check it out. Now that's great, but what we can do is actually use that second button to adjust multiple parameters at the same time. So this time, instead of muting the kick drum, let's mute all the other drums and let the kick drum stay. So to do that, I'm gonna do something different than dragging and dropping. I'm actually gonna come to the plus button, come to macro button 2, and then from here, I'm gonna come into drums, all drum volume, and I'm gonna pull that down. Now that will just mute all of the drums, but what I wanna do is leave the kick drum. So what we're gonna do is come to the plus button again, drums, bass drum here at the bottom, bass drum volume, and then I'm gonna push that up plus 100. So now we're gonna negative 100 and then bring it back in by plusing 100, and now it should work like we've muted all the drums except that kick drum. And obviously that's a very simple example of what you can do with the macro buttons in VPS Avenger.